What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFT Project podcast. It's your boys, Brock and Aaron, flying solo again, but still a duo, but flying solo without Jai this week. He is currently at a music festival out in the bush. It's a bit of a bush doof. He's off
Rabbit
grid.
eat lettuce.
Rabbits eat lettuce, so he's off grid this week. So we thought we'd hold down the fort and come at you with another banger episode. This week, we are talking barrier of entry. Brock has been receiving a bit of commentary over on his TikTok and his socials about like artists, musicians, DJs, kind of talking about like, well, what's the barrier of entry for NFTs? Like, oh, it seems too hard, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. So we're here to break it down today to kind of show you how easy it is to start uploading your music as NFTs.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting to be getting that kind of like people questioning. So I do a series at the moment on TikTok, and I think I'm up to like day 13. Don't quote me on that at the moment, but where I'm just talking about like reasons why you should upload your first music NFT. We're pretty heavy in that space, so it felt relevant to me to do something like that where I can just talk about. I do it really short, do 15 seconds where I'll just quote a fact or something that's happening in the space that's exciting, that's showing there's revenue. Number one, revenue streams are coming in. Number two, that the barrier to entry is very low, and that you don't need to necessarily stress too much about because it's like, and that's a big artist issue is like, what do I do? What's going to look good? What's going to be the best for me? It's like I don't want to ever have an artist stress about that. I want them to just go, cool, I've got these songs, I want to upload them, I want to learn, and then after I've learned, I can kind of gauge what feels good to me and what feels right. So I felt this was a really good topic to bring up because it seems to be still, after we've talked about it, I think we talk about the barrier to entry just by accident nearly every 2 or 3 episodes. So I felt like having something that I can point people to and just go, hey, we talk about it just directly here.
Yeah.
Here you go. And I think, yeah, so to obviously lead you in that right direction, the barrier to entry is nothing. If you want to mint an NFT, you can do it for free right now. This second, it'll take you a minute. If you're watching us live right now, because we stream the podcast live, you could mint an NFT, mint 10 of them before we finish the show. So it's 100%. That easy. Our favorite one, the one we talk about a lot, is Mint Songs. Jai has gone and tested out the platform, and he said it took him like 45 seconds to mint a song and have it up in the marketplace. So you can go to that website, sign up, load your music file up, and it's done. It's there for sale. So that's our favorite one.
Just think of it as like you're uploading a track to SoundCloud, basically. Like it's so easy. You obviously have to have an understanding of like what you're doing in terms of like blockchain terminology and that kind of stuff, but like it's all relatively straightforward. There's not, I think a lot of people get scared with like the blockchain and they think like there's so many like
layers to
layers, twists and turns, things that they don't understand, but like relatively it's all pretty simple and straightforward, especially for like platforms like Mint Songs where they're trying to get that user base in. They want you to upload your song, so they make it as easy as possible for you.
And like, just a testament to what Aaron was saying is like every time I've heard the guys speak that run Mint Songs, that is their main goal. It's just to create just an easy process that kind of doesn't make you feel like you're a part of the blockchain, but you are. So it's like, just as Aaron was saying, is like as if you were going to SoundCloud, and imagine like the first time you use SoundCloud, you're still fumbling around the joint. You kind of don't know what you're doing. It's going to be exactly the same with Mint Songs, except you're just uploading a track to a blockchain.
100%.
Moving on, all the major platforms and marketplaces right now generally allow you to, the four majors allow you to upload NFTs for free, and that's just using different blockchains. So, like, I think OpenSea does it with Polygon, and just remember as well with OpenSea, if you want to mint on Ethereum, it's actually still pretty cheap now because gas is really low. So
It is really low at the moment.
I think I did a recent project with that we talked about, I think a couple episodes ago with Mr. Consistent, where to start a collection, you have to use gas. So the first thing that you mint costs money, and it costs like $20 Australian. And after that, once the collection's minted, you can do whatever you want. So let's just say you were doing an album, that would be one collection, or you were doing like you as an artist or this artist, and you're just doing different projects. You can just do that and then upload different songs as you go, as singles, and just go along that way, and just be like, Brock singles, and upload like it's that simple, and just upload your different tracks to that collection.
Yeah,
and then
like
you have your songs on Ethereum, so that's even easy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, even me, like, I uploaded a photography collection, and yeah, it's just like as soon as you do that first one, it's just a little cost depending on what gas is at the time, but at the moment it's pretty low, and then the rest of them you can just keep chucking up, and you're not paying for them. So, just got to get that first one out of the way, and then you're good to go.
And of course, and like, not to sort of stick on it too much, but we'll come back and talk about it more, about like just getting rid of those fallacies, is of course Rarible and Nifty Gateway as well. And I think Nifty Gateway has actually been pretty popular with people that are doing like free NFTs, and like I don't know whether it's really popular with music at the moment, but if you want to look for a marketplace that's particularly artist focused, and particularly focused in allowing you to, because they have custodial wallets. And for those who don't know what custodial wallets, it's you sort of don't ever essentially own the NFT until you move it out of their marketplace, and then it eventually moves from the back end and then moves into your wallet. So a custodial wallet's just like, logging into Hotmail instead of having your own Hotmail server. It's just you're just using someone else's wallet, and then you can move it into an actual, on-chain wallet if you want to, and that's what helps them do that. And there's this list can go on and on. Like we don't have to literally riff on it for forever.
Yeah.
It's just more trying to get everyone to understand. It's like, you don't have to stress about, like, the barrier to entry is more marketing. Like, can you build a fan base?
That's I mean, anyone can upload.
Yeah, like the ease of upload is literally, it's probably even easier than trying to go, like, because Spotify, you need a you need to link up with someone like DistroKid, or just one of those other DBSs where it's like you need someone to help you get on those, on iTunes, on Spotify, on Tidal. Like there is an intermediary between you and those platforms. NFTs, it's just you and the fan base. You upload, here's my stuff.
And it's like it's really especially at this stage at the moment where we're so early, it's like fans, I don't necessarily think they care about where the music is or anything. If they're a fan of yours, they're going to go to whatever platform to get it.
Agreed.
So don't stress too hard on like, oh, well, I want to do OpenSea because that's where Bored Ape is, and blah blah blah. It's like wherever you mint it, wherever you want to put your collection, the fans will go to that. I can assure you.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's something, I think, after nearly, what are we at, like 9 months, 10 months in the space heavily, since starting our own project, and I can say with the utmost confidence that that's true. It's just because no matter what, you're building a new fan base, because the space is still so small. Like, that's the one thing you don't realize at the start when you open. You think that you're going to be accessing all these people on Ethereum, and like, people talk about having to mint on Ethereum, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, oh, there are the bulk of people that are in NFTs are on Ethereum blockchain, but you could easily get them to do something else if they were fans of you.
100%. 100%.
Because we all understand at the moment as well that there's, most marketplaces and other, NFT collections and stuff are building their own bridges between other blockchains as well. So to get an NFT from one blockchain to back to Ethereum anyway is slowly becoming more and more possible as every month passes by. So, and that'll just, within 2-3 years, it'll just be simple. So you'd never really have to stress about the blockchain you're on. Just play within your budget, and that can be zero.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it. Just like it is with uploading your music to Spotify, but there's no one in the middle. If you ever want to do it, it's there's not that little $30 charge or $20 charge or worrying about if you've put the right information in, because even on a platform like OpenSea, you can change the metadata. You can change the information that's there. Like you go, oh, I don't want to be called this artist anymore. You just change your name on there. There's stuff that's immutable. Obviously, the file that you upload is immutable, but not necessarily the back end marketplace data, which is very kind of helpful in the end as well.
Yeah, 100%. What other? I mean, like as you said, we could sit here and like rattle off names of every platform. Are there any other ones that we like? I mean, we love Royal, but that's it's kind of like an invite only thing at the moment. I wonder if Royal will one day be a bit more of an open platform.
Well, I think that's the issue. Is everyone's seeing Sound XYZ and Glass and Royal as the leaders in the space, and the leaders because of that. I think the scarcity that they're creating by making it invite, and it's not necessarily invite only to use the platform. It's apply, and like Royal, I think it'd be more pick and choose. I think with Sound XYZ, it's actually pick and choose a little bit, but more who's in line, who's next. And everyone's, so it was the same thing. I think I was chatting to you offline about it, where it's that people are talking about, oh, there's this many people in the Discord, and if that many people were all lining up for a track, it was going to be 8 years before I get my song minted. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but they're not. It's never going to be like that. Like they will just as the demand increases, they'll just mint more stuff and just make sure they keep it at a level where the customer base and the musician base is equal, so they keep their market there. So people just getting disheartened. Like this is what this podcast is about. Is like we don't want you to be disheartened before you've even done anything in the space. Like just come here. Just mint a song. Just a little
Put the feelers out. Put the feelers out.
Yeah, a little kiss on the lips. So just
go by the horns and just see what happens.
And understand that you're definitely not, as we're trying to explain here, is like it's definitely not the price that it costs to mint an NFT that's going to hold you back, because that's zero. It's just fan base. It's just people here, and people are finding, artists are finding it a lot easier to, and I think this is why Twitter's blown up as an NFT space, is because Twitter necessarily wasn't such a big space for everyone. So I think they've found it as a safeguard to know that if your fans follow you on Twitter, they're going to be interested in NFTs.
Yeah.
And you're kind of safe to talk about Web3 more so than you are on other platforms. And I've been doing a bit on TikTok now for like a couple of months, and I'm getting less and less hate there.
More people are starting, I think, to understand that it's not just like pictures of monkeys and stuff like that. It's like the technology is what's going to carry into the future, and that's what people are excited about.
And I think that's what you have to realize, is just stop making excuses and putting them in the place of what is out there, because there really are none besides I don't want to.
Yeah.
And then there's no barrier, but the ability to sell the NFT is the real barrier, more opposed to minting one. So it's just come here, try it out, become a part of the community. Like the biggest thing we can recommend is and this helped me a lot, and also Aaron a lot in the early days, is just searching hashtags on Twitter, and you'll eventually find the people. Oh, hello. I'm in trouble, guys. That's it. It's all over. Searching hashtags on Twitter, and like right now, MusicNFT, the hashtag, or just searching the two words is massive, and it'll just help you find those other artists that are doing. A really good tip is to just search around and find the artists that are doing things that you feel like you can relate to. So to give you a better idea of what's happening here, rather than sort of like just
and give them a follow and just kind of like see what they do. Keep tabs on them and just kind of see what their progress is like, and then you can implement whatever they're up to. And it's like Twitter's such a good space because I feel like it's like so fresh with like all these people interested in NFTs, that everyone, it's, as we said I think on another episode, it's like everyone just wants to help everyone. So it's like, if like you could literally probably DM an artist who's doing something and you could talk their ear off about trying to do something similar and they'd be happy to help you. It's just such a collaborative space at the moment, and you'd be silly not to kind of take advantage of that while it's here, because it might not last as soon as the masses adopt it. So you might as well take advantage of it while you can.
I totally agree with that. I think we continue to bring that up, is just the free thinking and the collaborativeness of the whole space. Everywhere you look, people are offering their time, offering to be part of something. Like just the whole community manager site. Like, imagine being an artist right now. You think of Discord and adding mods and stuff like that, and people just willing to give their time to a project. Imagine that in the music space, where you were just like in the early stages of project, like music, you're making like the first couple of tracks you've ever made, and you've already got someone that's just giving their time to you for free because they believe in you. Like, that isn't happening in anywhere. So, to give props to Web3 and NFTs and the community here, that's happening en masse. Like, people are just like willing to bet their time on things that they believe in. And there's a lot of belief going around, as they call it in the space, hopium. So yeah, it's just taking event. It's just like, talking about how popular TikTok is and how easy it is to sort of blow up over there. It's just taking advantage of the times when they're, when the iron's hot. It's a good time to come over here. Good time to start a Twitter. Very easy to get followers. Very easy to build a community, as long as you give it the respect and the time.
100%.
Very
so
easy.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Come on. Come in.
The water's fine.
Yeah. We promise we won't eat you.
Yeah, nice.
I think that's kind of it for what we wanted to talk about. We do a little thing at the end of the show here. What did you learn this week? Is there anything fun you saw in the space this week that you wanted to bring up?
Not really, not off the top of my head. I'd say communication, especially like if you're looking to get into this space. I think what I've noticed this week is that a lot of people don't put enough effort and priority in communicating to their fans, the people who are supporting them. Yeah. So I think if you have, 5, 10, 50, 100, 1,000 people who are supporting you and want to support you, I think you definitely need to give them that time. and communicate with them about what's happening, what you're doing, just checking in on them, because it makes the world of difference to a community when you're communicating with them and when you're not.
Just sort of give you a bit like harp on that a little bit further is if you do not communicate enough, your whole community can just turn on you so quickly here, with just one bad thing happening. And if you don't handle it like a pro, and that's why we talk about having business sense. If you're going to start a project, we're not talking about like just those people out there that are looking at just one track and become a part of the space. This is people that are looking to run massive projects. You really need to treat it like a business, and in a sense, it's different in this space because you, as Aaron said, you've got to communicate 10 times more. Like if you communicate that much in a business, in current Web 2, like people probably think you're crazy.
Staff meeting every day.
I think it's where business will go, because Web 3 will just leak down back into Web 2, and all of a sudden we'll be hearing more from CEOs and COOs and stuff like that, which is going to be great.
And I think maybe even just like brands in general, communicating with their, fans, supporters, customers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, heavily agree on that. I was going to say, and this is, but I mean, think communication is pretty high arching. I think listening is another big one that we kind of saw this week in a couple of different projects, where it's like, if your community is speaking, because you have to remember the community is there as the people that are going to buy your product. So, and sometimes we, as a business, it's not smart to listen to the community. But if a lot of the people, a lot of your community, the people that are going to buy your product, the people that are waiting for you to release something, are saying one thing, it's probably a good idea to listen, and to at least have an open dialogue, which again leads back to communication about the things that they're talking about. I just find there is a good percentage of the space that's still of a mind that they know best. They're coming in fresh, no idea. Like, as we continually harp on, is like no one's an expert here. Believing that they know what's best, just shooting a couple of guns up in the air, and then the community's like, hey guys, maybe like this is where we should like think about it over here, and like, don't worry about it. And then 2 weeks later, it all goes to shit, and they're like, well, maybe we should readdress.
And then you're backpedaling hard.
Yeah. You just start backpedaling again in this space. It's all over. Like, your community will generally not feel good about that. So it's a couple of high arching themes here with communication, listening, but I think that they've both reared their head this week heavy. I think, especially with where the market is at the moment, they've become a lot more noticeable, because it's, projects just aren't selling out like they were, a month or two ago. So there's a lot more insight to be gained right now from the market.
100%. And with that, we bid you farewell. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy the episode, let us know. Reach out to us on our socials.
Rate us.
Rate us. Spotify. Rate and review.
iTunes,
give us a little rate and review, please. It goes a long way.
Kiss.
If you could share this podcast with a friend, with like a fellow artist or something who's looking to get into NFTs, that would also be an insane help. And I think, if we can grow this community larger, I think it'll only benefit everyone. So,
which is all we're here to do.
Community, baby.
Love you guys.
Catches.